Hey, it's your buddy Peace and Harmony with you here today. Due to a lot of viewer inquiry regarding psychopathic individuals, particularly those people that they have met for dating purposes, I find a lot of people contact me who have been on dating websites and have found and attracted these sort of psychopathic individuals who have essentially preyed upon them, taken advantage of them, exploited their good nature in a very sort of parasitic and love bombing way. And they're really sort of trying to pick up the pieces and assess what has gone on and then move beyond it. And I do receive a lot of emails as well regarding that. So I just want to go into a little bit more of in depth so you can understand how these individuals work, how they suss people out, and why they essentially came into your life the way that they did, and why they exited the way that they did. The psychopathic individual is oftentimes thought to be you hear about a psychopath term in the movies. A serial killer, a serial rapist, a criminal, a violent criminal, someone who is locked up behind bars, or the term might even be used loosely. That person is psychopath, or people might just utilize that term and they might not really understand what it means. Essentially, these are individuals whose brain wiring is shown to be wired in different ways than the typical usual individual, and particularly that is manifested in the excess levels of dopamine in their brain. And dopamine is the feel-good chemical. It is associated with reward, so feelings of being rewarded, drive, impulse, all those sort of things are regulated by a neurotransmitter called dopamine. And there's been research to find that these type of individuals have such a high level of dopamine in their brain chemistry that it causes them to seek reward at all costs, and really despite the risk involved. So all they can see is what they want. They're going to go after what they want. And even if it means breaking the law, hurting people, destroying others, all the better for them, because they realize, in essence, that they are different from others. They look at life differently than others. They really have a sort of a thrill or excitement after hurting others. And this is attributed to a number of different qualities and characteristics, particularly the dopamine and how it ties to sexuality, and how it ties to substance abuse, and how it ties to exploiting others. So I want to real quick just share with you a research article that was produced out of Vanderbilt, and that was a study that looks at the brain wiring of these types of individuals. And realize that as we go into this, realize that psychopaths can be very wealthy, they can be very affluent, they can head up corporations, they can be high functioning, they can be extremely charismatic, they can be, hold high positions of power, they can be politicians, business owners, heads of, doctors. So there's a lot of interesting information written out there about the corporate psychopaths, snakes in suits, that look at particularly the presence of psychopaths in business and how it can be very destructive and responsible for a lot of the greed and destruction of the certain areas of economy, the environment, etc., due to psychopathic individuals running these corporations. So realize that these are not just individuals who are in penal institutions, violent criminals. These are people who are very destructive individuals, hurtful to others on an individual, personal, business level as well, on small, medium, and large scales. So I just want you to realize that these are not just people who you would find in a penitentiary, in a prison, or in those sort of circumstances. These are everyday people, and it's felt that 1% of the population is psychopathic, and that 1 in 25 individuals in corporations are psychopathic in nature. So the people who are higher up generally, And I'm not making any sweeping terms here. This is just what is in the literature. And this research article here, entitled Psychopaths Brain Wiring, Psychopaths' Brains Wired to Seek Rewards No Matter the Consequences. So the title speaks volumes. And it says here, the brains of psychopaths appear to be wired to keep seeking a reward at any cost. New research from Vanderbilt University finds, and the research uncovers the role of the brain's reward system in psychopathy and opens a new area of study for understanding what drives these individuals. And it furthermore states that they're often thought to be cold-blooded individuals who take what they want without thinking about the consequences. And it says here that we found that a hyper-reactive dopamine reward system may be the foundation for some of the most problematic behaviors associated with psychopathy, such as violent crime, recidivism, and substance abuse. And he cites that further research has cited that oftentimes these individuals lack fear, they lack empathy, and they also lack interpersonal skills. So an individual who lacks fear, really, as you can imagine, they don't really experience fear. So they're not afraid to commit certain grave acts. They're not afraid to hurt others. They're not afraid to destroy others. They're not afraid to take what they want. So, and this will mean at all costs, no matter if it means breaking the law, hurting other people, etc. What's very interesting is that the way that they describe, bear with me here, excuse me, so the dopamine has been found to be elevated 4 times the level of that is what is normal in the average person's brain. So reward by dopamine. So that feeling of being rewarded, pleasure seeking, impulse behavior, highly sexualized behavior. These are all kind of originated or have that foundation in this heightened level of dopamine existing in the neurochemical and brain wiring of these individuals. And how he looks at the relationship between the dopamine and psychopathy, they use the PET scan, the MRI, and they're looking at that brain reward system. And they have found that the dopamine level is so heightened that, in essence, if they use a carrot and stick analogy, stating that they are so drawn to that reward, whatever it is that they want, sexuality, money, companionship, food, a place to live, someone's contacts, to destroy a relationship, to be the head of an organization, to whatever it is that they are after. It is felt that they are because of their heightened level of dopamine, that all they can look at is the carrot. They do not look at the stick. So in other words, no matter what the cost, no matter what they have to do, they are willing to do and go above and beyond to get what they want. It's not just being a driven individual who's working hard and using integrity and hard hours and concentrated study and things of this nature to really accomplish what they want in their life. We're talking about really high risk behaviors, high risk sexuality, exploitation, using going behind people's back, obtaining information for their own use, security codes. I mean, the type of things that normally should be protected, they're going to try to hack. And it's very insidious, the extent to which they will utilize their own reward to get what they want. So in other words, they really do not stop. So we see the stalking behavior. We see, transgression of, social norms, contacting people's workplaces, spreading photos of them online, calling other family members, creating a smear campaign in their community about them, telling pathological lies designed to ruin their reputation and take them down. Um, it is it's due to this dysfunction in the dopamine circuitry. So they will look at the carrot and go after the carrot at all costs. So if you feel that this, you've had this sort of inexplicable attraction or addiction to this person, begin to maybe understand that this is what was going on, that this hypersexualization, the sort of violation, personal violation, where it caused you to violate yourself, or really sort of sacrifice your values to satisfy them, sacrifice your parameters, your boundaries, your self-esteem. If you see this beginning to occur, realize that this could be not your ordinary person who you are attracted to. It could be someone who is using this hypersexuality and this sort of extreme charm, impulsivity, really high risk behavior in your relationship, either if it's in the beginning, middle, or it's been going on for some time, and you're feeling very sort of addicted to this person, like you can't, you just need to be around them. You feel pacified just by being in their presence. You feel driven to just, leave your workplace and contact them, and that everything would be better. You feel that if you could just, they might ask you to, do something crazy with your finances, or your living situation, or your family situation, and this person is kind of is a little bit off, and you feel this kind of coldness, and you've seen kind of them shift between being not really being afraid when they should be, not feeling a heart when they should be, vacillating between emotions. Just if you had a spat with them, and then all of a sudden they have forgotten about it, and it has no bearing, and it they don't realize, or they commit that behavior again, and they show a failure to learn. You could be dealing with this type of individual who has very nemesing targeting for the people who they pursue in their life. So please do become aware of this experience and detach from them at all costs, no matter how difficult. It will bode well for your personal preservation and your sanctity in the future moving forward. Peace and harmony with you here today. I hope these videos, that they do help. Please share and please subscribe for more great tools, videos, discussion, and support.